Prepare for peppercorned cabbage with kraut and homemade Thousand Island on rye. There are a million ways to make cabbage steaks, but I'm going to show you one simple way is to take half of your cabbage and slice that horizontally in two, where you're going to have the end cap on one end, hopefully. So I'm going to take off this piece that is super fibrous and would just take longer to cook in the oven. It's still totally edible, but we're removing it just for consistency's sake. Preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Oil down your baking dish with a few tablespoons of vegetable oil. Add a generous amount of apple cider vinegar to each thick cut cabbage steak. And I cracked a whole bunch of black peppercorn with fresh garlic. Now when it comes to the Thousand Island dressing, you're going to soak 1 cup of walnuts with 1/3 cup of raisins. Let those soak for a minimum of 30 minutes, and then add 1/4 cup of dill pickle relish, 1/4 cup of egg-free mustard, with 1/2 cup of, I used canned roasted tomatoes, but you could also use fresh tomatoes or even ketchup. That's what's amazing about Thousand Island. It combines mayo, tomato, pickle, and mustard into one super delicious spread. It'll take your oven about 20 minutes to crisp up these cabbages to a nice golden brown. That is how you know it is time to flip them and sprinkle your seasonings on the other sides. Into the oven for another 10 minutes. Meanwhile, mixing together 1/2 cup of sauerkraut with 1/4 cup of your freshly made dressing, and this mixture is actually going to top off your steaks in the third and final round of baking for just 10 more minutes. It's all going to melt together. Using this recipe, I had about 1 cup of sauce left over. Here you can really see how creamy it is. I'm going to use it for everything. I've tossed it in a salad, even seasoned soup with it. You can use it to dip your chips in. It's so versatile and decadent. I've had it straight on toast and it's still delicious. I'm just using your typical rye bread, but like I said, man, anything goes. You could even pair this stuff with sweet potatoes. I'm not Irish, but I am European, German, Dutch, and English. Who is St. Patrick? I've always heard his name. He's celebrated every year on March 17th. Turns out he's British. He's an Irish saint, but he was born in Great Britain, abducted by the Irish, went back to Britain, and began preaching his religion between Ireland and Britain. So he's recognized as a Christian saint and credited for introducing the Celtic cross. He did not create the Reuben sandwich. That is from Nebraska. And so I am here as a Nebraskan preaching my religion as a vegan. You're going to be making this sauce once a week at least. My cabbage steak, my sauerkraut, the Thousand Island delicacy. Bow chicka wow wow. Yeah. Nobody takes me out on dates. Subscribe to keep up with what I cook up next. Everything is plant-based, chef approved, and tested.